my morning walk this morning. I'm in such a great mood.
Oh, yes. Just what?
I'll keep talking while you're wandering there. Yes, it's Monday. I always love Monday mornings. I feel like we have a clean slate. It's a fresh start. I just did all of my organizing. I have a sticky note system that I use for my productivity, and I've got my whole week figured out, and I'm going to be so productive this week. I'm excited.
Yes, it's always exciting. And it's exciting to empty and fill. That's,
Yeah.
empty and fill. Because
sorry, I'll just jump in and then remember, you're going back to empty and fill. The one message that I got from my my manifestation, I guess it was a guided manifestation, is it's a clean slate today. It's a totally clean slate. So I emptied everything. I let go of everything. I forgot about, and then I started fresh with what I'd like to get done, what needs to get done. So go back to your empty and fill.
Well, many years ago, that is part of the whole program, and why I speak to what we're going to speak to today, vision mapping. Because, when you think of a blank piece of paper, and I was in a course one time, and we spent, it must have been 20 years ago. And we spent a lot of time on the topic of, sometimes when you walk in a room and there's nothing in it, sometimes you'll say, oh, there's nothing there. You'll feel a loneliness and an empty when nothing's there. You'll see.
Well, sometimes people feel overwhelmed as well.
Exactly. So overwhelmed with it's a part of change, right?
Right.
Because when there's nothing, there's change. I actually viewed that as a lonely place for a very long time, until I realized that with empty and nothing is the beginning of all creation. Okay. Because I cannot create when I'm filled with the solution already. I'm having an issue. I know the answer already. I know I have the problem. So I'm really focused on what I think I know. So there's no room to learn anymore or grow, for that serendipitous moment where somebody walks by you and offers you something that you weren't even thinking about. Right? So yeah. I love that. I start each day with reading and growing and filling my mind with something I want to learn. I end each night empty in my mind and only keeping what I want for the future, my goal, so that I go to sleep with the same way Thomas Edison went to sleep, where he knew he would make that light bulb work. And he didn't think about the problem. He thought about the solution's going to come. He only thought about what he wanted. I want the light bulb to work. He didn't think about the 9,999 times it didn't work.
Right.
And we can all do that. So that is aligned. What you're talking about is aligned with all of that. And whatever your ritual is, it's interesting. My son and I were walking the other day. He's in Ottawa going to university. And as we were walking, those were the type of conversations I asked, and we were talking about, what do you do? Like when you're overwhelmed, when you think there's too much information, how do you empty that? What do you do? And how do you feel about the unknown? How do you feel about the unknown? The unknown of what to expect. And unknown is this another scary thing. The unknown. People are afraid of things that they can't control or they have the perfect answer to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Well, and also when you spoke about the empty room, and some people feel that overwhelmed because sometimes when there's a void of direction, meaning even if it was an empty room, but there was a paint color. Okay, well then now I can do something. I understand, like there's a piece of information there. Whereas sometimes with a blank slate, completely void, you're like, where do I start?
And I love that we've said that, because today I'd like to speak about something that Sage Navigation works with all the time. And we talk about vision mapping. Many people have heard vision boards. We talked about it last week, so we won't
Yeah.
repeat ourselves. But what
Yeah.
we will mention today is it's a very simple process and exciting at the same time. It is a moment,
Life-changing.
life-changing for sure. And really, what does it look like? What it looks like is step one, starting with, I say, pack your carrier bag. How do you pack your carrier bag is to at least know what's in the closet.
Well, there is, but at the same time, you are starting with a void. You're starting with an empty space. We're saying, forget everything that has happened to you in the past. Forget any baggage you might be carrying with you. Start with a blank slate, an empty carrying bag. What do you need to put in that bag? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and I'm also talking about you cannot eliminate what's happened to you in your life. Your
Right.
subconscious mind is always working. So when we say that, what we're saying to you is, what from your past do you want that's going to serve you well for your tomorrow?
Right.
Your
You don't have to
value.
bring it all. You don't have to bring everything with you.
No, you only have one bag, so you can't bring it all. That's what we say. And the first step is taking a look at who you've been, the roles you've played, the masks you wore, who you've been. That's what we work with. The who on the first day. Who? Then you say, well, that's all fine. How does that affect me in the future? Well, the fact that I typed 100 purchase orders at 16 years old, or I was a translator from English to French, the typing skill, I don't need to put in my carrier bag. But the fact that I'm fluently bilingual in 2 languages, I bring it, because that allows me to communicate to more people and understand more people. So therefore, that's going in my carrier bag. And we don't spend the time. When we do that, we find out just how much we have that is valuable, that does serve us. We're focused on all the stuff that's not valuable. I'm focused on maybe a memory of how I was rejected somewhere, or I lost a job, or I lost a boyfriend, or I failed a class, or whatever happened to me. Oh, I'm focused on that memory. Oh, yes, that memory is irrelevant. It's like I say to, when my son was studying for exams and he wanted that high mark, he wanted to be on the dean's list, he was driven. But I said, I'm glad for you. But at the end of the day, isn't it better to know the information well, not memorize it, but live it? And then when you put your certificate, you're going to find out when you have your degree on the wall, people aren't going to say, what was your grade? They don't care about the grade. They care about how you're going to help them in whatever sector you choose.
Right.
So
Right.
what parts of your past do you want to bring to you tomorrow? You sit, and you don't have to make all the decisions right away. You just have to be aware of how wonderful you are. And when you do that, look at you're building your resume, which we talk about on the first day. When we do that with you, you sit and you say, oh, I forgot I did that. Like, Karine, how many times are we talking? And you say to me, I didn't know you did that. I did. You did karate? I did karate. You did that? I did that. It's irrelevant. It's only relevant to where I need it. So later, when you have your resume and you put it all there, of all the things you've done, it's going to be very rewarding. And that's not talking about all the things you couldn't do. That's the one thing we don't want you to focus on. If it's a weakness, why are you playing in that playground? You have the choice between you love water and you love water slides and water parks. And you have the other park that has these twisters. I don't know what they're called, merry-go-round things. In the park you go on and it spins.
Yeah, we were just at a country fair yesterday and they had one of those, I don't know what I think they all have their own little names. Well, I think we know what you mean. Like one of those that you get on and it goes so fast that you're pushed up against the wall. Is that what you're talking about?
And in the regular parks, you can go to them and you get to pick which park you want.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Sorry, I was thinking about it, the theme parks, but you're talking about the little, it's not a merry-go-round. It's now you have to look it up. Okay, you keep
I know,
going.
I'm sitting here. But the point is, I never really liked that. I didn't like that feeling of dizzy. And so If you know you don't like that feeling, why are you going to that park? That's like a weakness. You know you're weak at it. You know you don't like it. Why are you playing there? So it's important to look at the who, but not because it's who you want to be in the future. It's because it's who you are potentially right now. It's the things
Right.
affecting how you move. It's affecting what you want. If I think about, if I think about my life at a different point where I was in the zone, I was like, everything came so easy. And I think about what was I doing? That's a little bit of a hint of what I could bring to the future. So doing that analysis is not an analysis of, it's a self-analysis to say the roles you played. When I went to the rink and I would meet people and communicate with them, who was I? What was I doing? Well, I can tell you one thing. I had faith we were going to win the game. That's what I had. I believed that me sitting in that rink cheering for them, never knocking the other team, always cheering for the team that I wanted to cheer for, recognizing every role brought value to the team. So therefore, I want to bring that to every team I'm on. There's the hint, who. So that first day in intro to vision mapping, it's about who, what, build your resume. And you do goal setting, and it's not a goal setting course, that's something else, but it's visual goal setting in some way, but it's really creativity. And you say, well, why do I like those pictures? Isn't that a good question? Do you really want them? Or are they pictures that, like the magnet, the law of attraction it's what I'm familiar with. It's what I'm familiar with. It's my comfort zone. It's what I like. It's what I think my limitation is. It's my ceiling. So maybe I like the other house better than this house, but my ceiling won't allow me to dream that. So starting from that blank, which we talked about, that anything is possible, we have you look at pictures and words and places and memories and pull only the things you like. But if you like it, it's not to qualify it. It's not to filter it. A vision board is a perfect first step to living life by design.
Sure. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And if you haven't done it, it's a wonderful arts and craft exercise. It's a wonderful way to dream. Zig Ziglar says, and we help you with it. So we bombard you with questions and
we guide you through the process.
And really, we look at very simple. I remember doing my first goal setting when I learned with Zig Ziglar, and it's the same thing in a vision board. I go through a bunch of things and say, who do I want to be? What do I want to do? And what do I want to have? And then you pick it and you say, oh, I can't have that. No, that stays with you. You don't glue it to the board, but it stays with you. And that's vision boards.
So I'm going to jump in for those that might be joining us just a little bit late. This is Katherine. I'm Karine. We're from Sage Navigation, and we're talking about our 4-day introduction to vision mapping program that we're doing. We're just setting up the stage here to explain how we are firm believers in the value of determining what your goal is, and vision boards. So I'm very clear, vision boards are a first step that many of you probably have already taken. But what we do with this program that we're hosting it starting October 17th, right, Katherine? Am I getting my dates right? I don't have them in front of me. I don't want to give the wrong date. That is the first step to creating your vision map. And that's what we're here talking about today. There's a 4-day program. Katherine's talking about the first day where we actually, we brainstorm, we take you through some guided exercises so that we can help you. There's words here that I've learned that I have an aversion to. One of them is we help you get unstuck. We kind of eliminate clutter, like some of these things that you might have heard in the past, but we actually have solutions to these problems so that you can find your way from your point A to your point B. That's what a vision map does. It takes you literally on the journey.
And you know what? On day one, you're doing something, you'll say, oh, I've done this. We'll do it differently, but you may feel you've done it, or you may feel I've never done this before. And if you've never done it before, are you in for a treat? Because that's only the beginning and it's fun. Then you get to the second week. And on that week, we say, we got to transition this. We need to transition that board to reflect my life. And that's where you take your creation, because we have 4 C's that are create, and we go to choose. And making decisions is hard. So we help you make those decisions. We help you look at it to make those decisions, to make sure that you don't have 2 contradictions. And we're not going to go into it. We'll just high level tell you, we want you to eliminate contradictions so you can eliminate the distractions in your life. So now
well, that, and also, sorry, I'm going to jump in and say,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to eliminate things because you recognize that what you're working towards doesn't actually fulfill what you want your life to look like. You might think you want something, but then you realize when you go through the exercises with us, wait a second, that isn't actually exactly what I'm looking for. So we can act like, we really do give that type of guidance. And we have so many, we won't do them all now, but there are many examples that we can share with you with people that we've worked with that thought they were working towards something and then realized, by the way, I'm one of them. I won't go into my personal story. I'll definitely be sharing that at some point, but I can tell you that when I met Katherine, I took her introduction to vision mapping 1.5 years ago. Not only am I can't give it away, but I'm steps away from achieving a goal that I set 1.5 years ago. I learned that what I was working towards wasn't exactly what I thought it was. So there's so much to offer. We have so much to offer you with this
So
program.
you're going to walk away. You're going to walk away with clarity. When you learn
100%.
to transition, you will do that in all areas of your life. So it's not just a tool for this map. It's really a tool to live your life. So
Absolutely.
It's like stepping into you, living your life by design, designed by you and for you, starting with a thought, going to paper, and then all of a sudden it come into be because of the action steps. So we show you about the transition, we work with you. Then you have a Q&A. So this is all about you. You come back, because now
on the third day, and so it's every Tuesday. Am I saying that
every
right?
Tuesday.
Every Tuesday for 4 weeks. On the 3rd Tuesday, it's actually Halloween, so October 31st. So we wanted to make sure that we're offering, for those that can join, a session where we can give personal guidance. We can give questions and answer time. We can listen to your thoughts, your objections, your questions, your queries, everything on October 31st. Just we want to be there for you. And we'll be more than halfway through the program at that point. So you may have questions like we want everybody to successfully finish this program on their journey. So we're going to give you that time and
we're going to give you a template so that you understand the whole thing. And it's not, you're going to be able to work on it on your own. We're going to show you how to do this. So what's going to happen is you're going to transition so that by the 31st, you actually have a vision map. So now you've created, you've made some choice, and now it's time by week 3 to commit. Yes, I'm committing to this. So week 4, when you come back on November 7th, what we're talking about is connecting to it. There's a whole big difference between creating, choosing, committing, and now connecting. Connecting is, how do I make this happen? Not how it's going to come to me, because that we have surprises for you. But what part do I play in it? What part do I play in making sure this happens, that I have clarity and I have confidence? How am I going to have confidence? And then the courage, and it's in the action. And by week 4, that's what you're walking away with: confidence, clarity, and courage. And you know what we cover is the 3 W's, which is who, what you want, and why, but not just why, like everybody says, what's your why? I'm going to say, what's your motive? And what is your motive? What, they talk about intention. Well, what is your personal? Yeah, it is. And what is your personal motive? What is the thing that, for me, my motive to get something always falls under the category of love. Somewhere you're going to see love for something or someone. That's my motive. And that's when it gets tough, because believe me, if you want to play in the playground of living life by design, you're going to have adversity and you're going to have obstacles. We promise you that. We're
Yeah.
not giving you the answer to that. What we're giving you the answer to is how the universe provides an adversity only to give you something of equal value or better. So it's $297. $297 over 4 weeks. Really? You're going to walk away changing your life. And we're going to guarantee you, if you don't,
Yeah.
give you back your money and be happy to do it.
Yeah.
You
it's
have
a guarantee.
work to do.
Mm-hmm.
You have work to do. It's a time investment on your part. So if you say, I don't have the time, I agree. You don't have the time not to do this. But if you say, I'm not willing to put the time in it, then I agree. Don't spend the money on it. Because you do
That's
have
okay.
a part to
That's
play.
okay. Maybe the timing isn't right for some people.
Exactly.
Right? I've done the math, and it's equal to about a coffee a day if you break it down into a daily price tag. And by the way, I've really tried. Ever since we sort of used this analogy of the latte factor, I have really stopped spending my money on drive-through coffees. It's so funny how once you start realizing how that adds up, you're like, why am I doing this? I have my little to-go cups now. I make my little coffee at home.
Books are so powerful for me, and I've read so many of them. So like, it's like when I think about David Bach and learning from him, the latte factor, I remember being in Montreal in Scotiabank in their auditorium, and I remember him sharing 6 tips, only 6. And I'll never forget meeting him and him sharing the latte factor and me thinking, oh, that's not me. Oh, it's not me, until the Monday I went to Second Cup and spent whatever on a coffee. I don't have to say the price because then I'll date myself, but the price wasn't what it was today. And now it's double that price. And then I'd have, oh, I may as well get a croissant or a chocolatine, okay. And by lunchtime, I had half the chocolatine still on the desk because I couldn't eat the whole chocolatine. It was very rich and decadent.
You have to tell people, not everybody is in Montreal. The chocolatine, what is that? It's not a chocolate croissant, not a pain au chocolat. What is it?
It is like the pain au chocolat.
Okay.
It's a square little croissant that is filled with chocolate. And often it's made square, and it's a chocolate bread is pastry, what they call it, but it's a pastry, right? It's the dough of a croissant with some chocolate in it.
Okay, so it is like a pain au chocolat.
It is a pain au chocolat. They call them chocolatine, pain au chocolat. They call them whatever. I don't know the English term for it.
Chocolate croissant is how you would get in Ontario.
Oh, so I
the
guess
square one, I don't think I've seen a square one. Oh yes, in the grocery store they have them,
and
but
that's
they
why
still
they
call them chocolate croissants.
And that's why in Quebec they'll often say je prendrais un pain au chocolat. And pain au chocolat is like a little bread with chocolate in it. Looks like a little slice of bread puffed up. Cute. So you know what? At the end of that exercise, I saved enough money over the year to take a holiday, because I didn't go for the afternoon coffee in the same way. I drank a small coffee in the morning, and I'd go for a small coffee in the afternoon when I started, till eventually I didn't even want the second. And I didn't order a second pastry in the afternoon. And that benefited me. It helped my heart.
More ways than one. More ways than one. More than just your pocketbook. But I'll tell you, and then we're totally diverging here. But when I went to visit my daughter in Germany, she was there doing an exchange for school. And it came really face forward how people in Europe do not walk around with the to-go coffee cup everywhere. They sit down in a cafe, they have a coffee, off they go on their day. They take the time to stop and enjoy their coffee or the croissant or whatever they're having. And then they go. They don't walk around with food and drinks the way that we do. Anyways, I'm not judging. Trust me. I call my car the mobile buffet because I am in my car drinking and eating, whatever, because I drive so much for my kids still. But anyways.
So we're going to respect the time at 10:58. We're going to say, if you don't have a vision board, why not? And if you don't know what a vision map is, don't miss the opportunity. And if you want to know more, you can either email, write something in these comments, and we will DM you with the link so that you can find out more. The link has all the information of what we cover, and then you choose to join us or not join us.
Right.
But if you're not sure, then make sure to reach out to us, because it is life-changing, and we can give you testimonial upon testimonial of things that it did. So Katherine Kim Mullen and Karine Ewert from Sage Navigation. Go to the website, sagenavigation.ca, and we have all kinds of.
Come and take vision mapping with us. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a great time.
Okay, thank you. See you next Monday. Have a great day.